Hi guys, this is Spartan765. Today I'm doing a video on how to disassemble a Mauser rifle. This is a Yugo M2447. This is how to disassemble your rifle to prep it for cleaning the cosmoline out of it. Doing this on a request of a viewer. I'm not going to show you how to disassemble the bolt in this video for length of the video, but if you want to know that, you can watch my Mauser bolt disassemble video. How to remove the bolt: lift up in the bolt handle, pull back, bolt release lever right here, pull this out, pull the bolt out like that. Okay, now your next step is remove your cleaning rod. And this is how to disassemble the gun to get the cosmoline cleaned out of it, or complete disassembly, whatever you want to call it. Okay, next step is push on this barrel band button up here. Pull off your first barrel band. Push on your second barrel band button right there, release button. Pull on your second barrel band. Then, very important, make sure you remove the screw at the top of the front or the top of the rear sight. Remove that, set it aside like that. Then, put your sight in the perpendicular position, grab your front of your handguard, pull up, snap right off just like that. There's a little retainer in there. Set that aside. Next step is return your front sight. If you want to remove your front sight, I'm not going to show you in this video how to do that. If you want to, I'll do it in a different video for length of video purposes. There's a little pin inside here. Take your punch. This is just a drill bit, but pretend it's a punch. Punch that little pin out, pull it out. Then push. Then take a screwdriver, put a little small screwdriver right in there, like that. And at the same time, push down with another screwdriver, whatever you have to push down with a lot of force to push it down. And then use that other screwdriver as this is pushed down to wedge it out like that. This will slide right out. Then to remove the spring, it'll be in here. Just pull it right out. I'm not going to do that for length of video. Okay, now next step is loosen your locking screws. Your Mauser may or may not have locking screws. Then remove your first screw and loosen the locking screw for the tang screw and loosen your tang screw. Oh yeah, also, this is loosening the tang screw, remove it. Also, I should have showed this before. To remove your drop plate, push the button inside here with a punch or whatever you got. Push the drop plate down, pop right out. Okay, now your next step is take your finger under the receiver like this, pull up. Push your barrel bands up, lift your receiver out. And your barrel out. There you go. Now, we're going to go back to the stock. Now to remove your sling plate, or your sling, take out these two screws, same with the butt plate. To remove your trigger group, now if the screws are out, just kind of jiggle it, come right out just like that. To remove your bayonet lug, there's this pin right here. Not going to do it for purposes of length video, but just pop this pin right out. Just pull your bayonet lug right off. You do not need to remove the barrel band buttons, or barrel band, whatever you want to call them, retainers. You do not need to remove your bayonet or your recoil lug. Do not remove that. I never advise removing that. Okay, now we are going to step onto the barrel and receiver. What else to disassemble on there? Okay, now next thing you got to take off is your trigger. Now this is fairly simple. All you need is a punch. Well, I'm just using the tip of this drill bit. Punch works. First one you want to take off is your, I recommend, there's this screw in the bottom, you can take either pin out first, but I take out this bottom pin first. What you want to do is depress this little knob right here, because there's a spring under there, it's under spring pressure. And just take your punch your pin, take a pliers, well holding down in that at the same time, pull it out, there's your pin. Now release it slowly, it's under spring pressure. There's your spring, set that down. Now, to remove your trigger from the sear, I'm going to see if I can just get it to go without pin punch. You can take a pin and punch it out, or you could just jiggle it out like I did, but you're probably going to have to use a pin if you got it all full of cosmoline. Then separate. Here's your sear, here's your trigger. Okay. Now the next step is how to remove the removal of the bolt release. Okay, now as you see, it takes a flathead screwdriver. So take your flathead screwdriver up here in this screw, twist it right out. Now you're going to get to a point here where you're going to be twisting and it's not going to be coming out anymore. It'll just seem like it'll be stuck in there, but it's not coming out. Now what you need to do then, just keep slipping off there, just take your screwdriver underneath the screw like this and just kind of wedge the screw out. Just like that, just kind of lift up on it, like that, wedge it out. It's under spring pressure, so put your finger on here, pull your screw out. Notice it's kind of a weird looking screw with a point on it. Then remove this. Okay, here's your ejector, right here, this little knob right here. And this bigger piece is your bolt release. You don't need to take the ejector out of the bolt release, you can just leave that in there. What I recommend to clean with or to get the Cosmoline off, just soak everything in really hot water, wipe it off, it'll come right off. Now, the only part I'm going to show how to put back on is this piece, because this piece can be kind of tricky. Let me check length of the video. Okay, we're going on 6 minutes, 16 seconds. So what you got to do to put this back on, just put it back on like here, flip it right back on. Now this is the part that's kind of tricky. There's holes in here you got to line up. Just kind of maneuver it the best you can. Get it to kind of line up, but that's why that screw's pointed at the end. Stick it in there. Take whatever you got and just tap her home like that. You don't want to force it. If you know, you just give it a few taps. If it's not going, look at it and try to realign it. This mine went right away. There you go. Tighten your screw up nice and snug, not tight, like you don't want to strip your screw or round off the edges as the screwdriver goes. Okay, let me see what we got left for video. We got enough time to show how to put the trigger back together. Okay, now your first step in putting your trigger back together, take your trigger spring, put it in there like that, set it back over like this, push down with your finger, take a pin, you're going to push the pin in through here, I'm doing it on this side, just push it down all the way, holes will line up, it's pretty easy to put back together. Whoops, pin slid in a little bit. Damn it. The pin slid in early. There we go. Push this down all the way like I said, and then slide your pin right in. Just like that, there you go, went right in there. There we go. Okay, now to put your trigger back in, push down on this button, stick an object underneath the, just the side right there to hold it up, just our drill bit. Take your trigger, put it back in like that, take your other pin, drop it in place, maneuver it around till the holes line up, pull out your whatever you used to use that, trigger is reinstalled, bolt release is installed. That's all I'm going to show how to reinstall on the gun in this video. If you want me to do a complete reassemble video, well, it's pretty easy to put it back together. Just follow reverse order. If you guys would like me to actually do a mauser reassemble video, if you got stumped on anything, send me a message and I will make that video. But what I did today was to show you how to complete disassemble, and I recommend to get the Cosmoline out, use hot water, preferably boiling, and put the parts in a pot, and it'll melt it right off. I stay away from aggressive solvents and stuff like that. Just really hot water will get it off. Again, if you want to know how to disassemble the bolt, watch my mauser bolt disassembly video, and that'll tell you how to do that. Got any comments or questions? Feel free to send me a message, Spartan765 out.